Up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Power Hour. How y'all doing? It's your boy Reese with House of Reps. Today, I got a special co-host joining me, Heidi from Xeno Gecko Morphs. I said it right this time, so don't come at me. But we don't got Joe today. Joe has some family stuff to go hang out with and do some schoolwork. He's grounded, so he couldn't come out and play. But we do have our special guest today too, Angel. So I guess we just can't line up, but we're gonna have fun today anyway. So stick around, guys. Make sure you guys go like and share. Get ready and come hang out with us. All right, all right. Welcome back, everybody. So, how's everybody doing today? Heidi and Angel, how y'all doing?
Good.
Same, man. Everything's good.
Why
I
y'all so sluggish, man? What y'all
don't know.
doing?
Heidi threw me off for a second. She was like,
Sorry.
good.
Good.
Thought we got the nerves out already, dude. Come on now.
Yeah.
No.
No, no. Well, first things first, guys. Appreciate you filling in for Joe today and hanging out with me, so I'm not by myself tanking. So
Yeah.
appreciate that, and appreciate you, man, coming back on again with us. You know what I mean? We love talking to you, so come hang out. You're a pretty cool dude. But go ahead and tell us how's your season been going, man.
It's been going good. I got funny enough, I did less pairings than I did last year. So last year I did probably like 20, 21 pairings in my first year, which was probably a little crazy, but I was
Dang,
able
yeah.
to manage. And then this year I have less pairings, but they're higher quality, and then obviously like uh through conversations you already know that I'm producing way more eggs than I did last year. So super excited though.
Okay, okay. What about you, Heidi? How's your season going?
Awesome. Less pairings than last year planned, but probably gonna end up the same, maybe more. Just more of the testing and crossing stuff going on. But pretty
Okay.
good. First egg should be hatching within the next week.
Same, same. Thank you too, right, Angel? So we all should have babies hatching
I
next
think
week.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks, yeah.
I was hoping one would hatch on my birthday because it was like right there. I was like, "Oh, you're staying if you do," but it didn't.
Nah,
I
right.
did have one hatch on a friend's birthday, so I named it after him. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So dang, so both of y'all doing less. I'm doing more,
Yeah,
but
you're
y'all are
doing
getting
way
more.
more.
I mean, more than I've done. Last year I did do 21 pairings, but I also didn't get all those eggs.
Hmm.
So a lot of them went bad. A lot of them didn't hatch. So I was kind of thankful for it, which is kind of happening again. A lot of pairings either aren't producing or I'm getting like one egg here and there, or like the first clutch is good and then the second clutch is no good, and then the third clutch is like one egg and one bad egg. So it's a little toss up. So I'm not having a super well production right now, but yeah. So it sounds like you guys are. That's what's up though. What up, everybody in the
Yep.
comments? How y'all doing tonight? We got Bayside, Can Geckos, Foggy. What up? What up, Clint?
We got wild card
D.
Yeah. Hey
Nielsen.
everybody.
Yep. Thanks for tuning in to these hooligans and me. All right. So, what do you want to talk about today, man? You're always asking us to come on here, man. What do you want to talk to us about now?
Let's talk
I was
about. Let's. You know what we talking about. You know what's my thing. I spoke about it. What was it? 2 weeks
Oh.
ago. Last month. We talking
which
both
one?
things.
Which one?
Nah, we can talk about whatever we got. I don't care. Let's
So
start
nah,
off.
I saw you recently just posted. So I mean, both of us did.
Yeah.
You saw the video we posted about the filial breeding, and then
Yes.
you got your videos you've been posting about filial breeding.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
What I know what got me digging into it and trying to figure out what it means, but what got you trying to figure out what it means and trying to learn about it?
So for me, like when I'm buying geckos, I think everybody does the same thing where they kind of like ask, oh, can I see the parents or whatever, and then obviously like when you're buying geckos from when you're buying multiple geckos from a breeder, like most of the times they're gonna be related if they're like the same like morph or whatever, right, or from the same line. So
Hmm.
uh, a couple times I've bought geckos, and then I was just thinking like I want to track back the lineage, I want to see how far back I can go, like with the parents, great grandparents, stuff like that. And then from there it just sparked like the filial generations and the filial breeding for me. Like I was like, let me do more research on it, because also during that time I was asking people about like, what do you know about it, and a lot of people kind of was like
Didn't know.
50-50 with information. Exactly. Like some people knew, but like knew like the very, very basics of it. Like, oh, F1 with a F1 is F2. But then it starts with like the, I guess, not the misinformation, but just not the complete understanding. Then they're like, well, if you take F2 and then you cross it to a parent, then it's F3. And then from there, that's when I was just like, you know what, let me search it up for myself and figure out what the actual like terminology is.
Okay, okay. Uh, well, I'm gonna ask Heidi about that in a second, but pretty much that's kind of how I was, but it was more so of because everybody else didn't know, I
Hmm.
wanted.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I would see a lot of people that have been breeding way longer than me, 10 plus years, and I'm like, hey, what's F mean or what's F2? And straight up like, oh, I don't know. I just see others do it. I'm like, oh, all right. So all right, so you don't even know. Cool. So I'm trying to figure it out. So I didn't really have help and I had to look up, try to figure it out. So it was cool. I think you and me both were trying to like figure out around the same.
Yeah, during the same time, because
That's why I was trying to see what sparked it for you,
yeah, I
but you
remember. I remember. Actually, I asked a couple people. So you were one of the people that I asked initially. So like I asked you, I asked like Arlos, Vinny, Steve, and then my boy Raul, and
Mhm.
they kind of like one person was like, "What are you even talking about?" Like I was just like, "Okay, so now I think it's time to do some research on it, and
Yeah.
then with the research that I have, maybe create a video or even just put out that information for somebody to actually learn from it. Because like
Yeah.
I'm a first year breeder. Well, this is my second year now, and I
Mhm.
already know that there's going to be a newer breeder this year, a newer breeder next year, and they're probably not going to have that information. So I think it's
Mhm.
cool that I can put that information, or even you put out that information for like the newer generation.
Yeah, yeah. It was just one of those things like when I was trying to find out, they would just know it's like it's generational or something like that.
Hmm.
But to me, I want to know more details. Like what does it actually mean? Because generation is G, not F. So what the hell does the F mean? Yeah, yeah. Close your window, bro. You're letting stars in.
It
Got
was getting cold. It
stardust
was getting
coming in.
cold. It was getting cold. The
Yeah,
asteroid came
yeah.
through here.
Nah, so that's cool, dog. That we're both trying to learn about the same time. So now I'm gonna bring Heidi into this because it's funny because she's been in the game longer than us, dude. So she sees the rotations of things and stuff like that. So when we started dropping those videos, she had her own feelings on it. Why don't you go ahead and tell us about that?
Um, so I had known that a lot of people weren't really using like the Fs one, two, three with geckos as much, except for like Black Knight stuff. So it wasn't talked about. Nobody said filial breeding or whatever. And then I heard it on the podcast. I was doing whatever, and I turned around and I kind of started laughing because I also breed chickens, and in all the chicken groups, they say it constantly.
Mhm.
So I'm like, oh, like that's kind of funny that if we're it's getting introduced more, like people in the gecko or reptile communities are going to use it more. But that's how I know we use the breeding method, but nobody talks
Uses the
about
word,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The lingo
So,
isn't
because I'm like,
always
I
being
do
talked.
that. I have my, I get a new project. I got my rooster and his hens, and then all their babies, they go to a pen and breed together, and then, you know, kind of do it that way. So, in that time, we put it the same way, but nobody really uses the filial breeding. Everyone just says generation, and then they put F, and, so
But
it
see,
was kind of funny because I only hear it in the chicken groups.
No, that's true. That's true. But it's good that we
So
talk
it's
about it.
cool.
It is good that we talk
Yeah.
about it because just like what you were saying, like you only heard it with the Black Knight stuff, so it
What
pertained
the
to that
fuck,
line
Joe?
breeding. But if but if somebody is not line breeding, they're selective breeding, it's not the same thing as filial breeding, you know
Yeah,
what I mean? So there is a
Yeah.
difference. There's a difference there. And so some people can be misusing the lingo, and it's subtle little things. Sometimes it doesn't really matter for a pet for somebody, but us breeders, we obviously take the time and care for that. So
yeah, yeah.
we do want to know that.
I
But
think it's very important, honestly, to know because again, if you buy a group from somebody and then those geckos are F3s, for instance, you're gonna keep breeding them together. You're gonna end up with some like defects after a certain like point of time. They're not gonna be F1s. They're really gonna be F4s or
yeah,
moving on.
without
You know what I'm saying?
understanding,
Yeah, exactly.
or asking those questions before they got, like, hey, are these related? Are
Yeah,
these
exactly.
siblings? Like were these half brother, half sis, whatever? So yeah. Do you plan on using that a lot moving forward? Like, so it's good that you learned it now because I'm 5 years in now. So like,
Yeah.
I could have been started, but I didn't. So I'm starting, last year. But with you in the beginning of your stages, is that something you want to work on, or was it just something you wanted to learn about?
So I think at the time, well, it's still that time. I just wanted to learn about it. But when it
Hmm.
comes to like actually using it, I'm probably not gonna like label everything as that. Like if I'm posting ads, but I'm definitely gonna keep track of it in my own personal stuff, just so like let's say you buy something from me and you want to know, I can give you that information. But like on my Morph Market ads or anything like that, I'm not really gonna put like F1, F2 or anything like that. I'll just leave it regular how I usually label, and then again, if
Hmm.
the person asks me like, "Hey, are they related?" I'll give them. And usually, I do a good job at like keeping track of like the lineage. So like the geckos, like the base group of geckos that I bought, for the most part, I have like a lot of information on them, especially like their parents, where they came from, and stuff like that. So usually, when somebody buys something from me, I try to give them that if they ask for it, like the whole like lineage, rather than just telling them
Hmm.
the parents and stuff like that.
No, that's good. That's good. So, like I said before, though, are you gonna apply it at all? Do you have like a specific trait or project you think you're gonna apply a filial breeding to?
Oh, the actual breeding technique? Well, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I already have. So this because we've had conversations in DMs, but I kind of like took on a project that my boy started, and
And what's that
and
project?
it's a bull tangerine project. It started off
Okay,
with the
okay.
fireball
Yeah, the
cross to
fireball stuff.
the white and yellow red stripe stuff, and then
Gotcha.
so that's already like a couple of generations in. It's actually the male that I got is like the F1 back cross one, and then I back crossed it one more time, so I'm on that generation now. But with the other pairings, I'm not sure if I'm going to continue to like breed them with like F1 to F1 or anything like that, because like I have a lot of females and they're
Hmm.
producing, so I might just mix and match
And see
their
what
babies
happens.
together and see what happens. Yeah,
Yeah, I like to do that just to see
I
what
think it's
happens.
just better. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you do that a lot, Heidi? Just pair stuff up to see what happens, or is everything
Yes.
got to be meticulous?
It both. I have projects that are very, very specific, and a lot of them are very close knit. And then I have some stuff that is, I just kind of pick and choose different generations of different morphs on different racks as long as they're compatible because I'm trying to create something else or just see what happens because why not? That's part of it.
True, true. I mean, that's what I like, just having fun, because you never know what can pop out sometimes.
That's true.
I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
if you did one pairing and like it was consistently doo doo, you're like, all right, wipe that away, throw it out.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, sometimes you never know. You get like 4 or 5 different phenotypes from a pairing. You're like, okay, I wonder what you do next time.
Hmm. Well, that's what I see a lot, and I that's why I keep them so long as far as letting them grow out, you know, 9 months to a year or even more before releasing them or even just continuing because otherwise you don't you did it for nothing. So when I see people like I'll get messages from people and like, oh, I paired these together, how what when it's like, well, what'd you do that pairing for if you're just gonna sell the babies at 15 grams?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if it's something like really like an out of the box pairing.
What's like a pairing you did, both of you? Like, what's a pairing you did? You did it. You were like, let's see what happens, and then it was trash, and you were like, yeah, we're not doing this again. What was that for you? I'm gonna let Angel go first. You know, ladies first. So
So last season I actually did a Tango Crush cross to a Firebolt, thinking like it was my first season. I was trying to like experiment or whatever,
okay,
and it wasn't like completely trash because I was actually able to get some geckos that were striped, but in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't really like worth it. You know, like most of the babies came out banded, and then the other like maybe like 5% of them came out striped, and then the stripe didn't even stick. So it was just like for that I should have just paired the Tango Crush up to like another like super hypo line. You know.
yeah. What about the color? Was it good at least, or what?
Color. So there was like one that was really nice in color, and a lot of them came out with really nice carrot tail. But other than that, it wasn't really nothing crazy. It was they looked regular. I think I kind of regret selling some of them, but I think if I would have just paired them back to the Firebolt, I probably would have produced nicer animals.
Probably,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that's what I should have did, but it is what it
Hey,
is.
year one is lessons learned. I mean, if that's the lesson you're learning year one versus some of the stuff I learned, so bump it. But what about you, Heidi?
It's actually something similar. Years back, I had some nice, mostly hypo tangerines, and I was trying to put more bold into it, and
Hmm.
they were just ugly. The bolds weren't holding, and the tangerine kind of disappeared. So
Hmm.
they weren't. I mean, I don't want to say they're ugly. I mean, they still were pretty geckos, but what I was trying to accomplish wasn't working. And I tried it for 2 seasons. Held the
Okay.
babies all back, bred a few together, and some of the females back to the dad to try to get more bold, and it just didn't work with that. So I'm trying. I tried to make my own tangerines with bold influence from the beginning, and I'm just still branching off from that because trying to go bold to hypo just don't work that great.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I am trying that again, kind of this year with the Firebolt line Eclipse stuff. Um, I'm bringing some of the bold stripe stuff back into that to bring the bold back into the Firebolt and see if that helps because the Firebolt line has bold, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
So, what did you guys do with the babies? Had you just petted them out real quick, or
Ate
what happened?
them.
You ate them? Yeah, I figured. What about you, Angel?
Like, what do you think we did? Like,
You ate them too, bro?
No, I didn't eat them. Actually, I actually sold them. Like they were some of them were nice. Like you know what? Joe actually has two of them, and he liked them a lot. I don't know what his plans are with them, but he has two of them, and they weren't bad geckos. The banded ones actually came out looking like a Tango Crush, like very orange. So
Okay.
like you wouldn't even be able to tell like if that was like a bullshit project or whatever. So I just sold them.
I'll tell you what, I did that last year, and almost every single baby was so bad I had to just pet. I didn't even take photos for Instagram or nothing, just because. So I took a LBS, the line bred Albie Snow, and I took it to a Burning Blood rainwater, not really thinking about it not being a snow for real. So all the babies just came out looking normal, super like faded yellow, real ugly. Like I was just like this whole batch. I had them separated to the side. I was like, all y'all going to the pet store. I'm not even putting you on the table, putting you in no photos. This was a bad pairing. It was for no reason. So yeah, moving on. I'm gonna make sure not to do that anymore. Make sure something has I don't know, something to do with it.
Yeah,
Think smarter on it.
I was gonna say like I think it's cool to experiment, but like most of the times I feel like you should kind of like breed with like a goal, right?
Mhm.
And when you actually
yeah,
pair them, it should make sense, you know? Like
100%.
I'm trying to get orange into Firebolt, so I cross it to Tangle Crush. That's not gonna work because the hypo is just
Mhm.
gonna absorb all of the pattern, you know? But then if I took maybe like a Bengal, which has already that orange saturation with that bold, and then crossed it to a Firebolt, I probably would have had a better like outcome. Well, not probably. I would have had a better outcome with what I pictured. Like, you know what I mean? That makes sense.
Yeah, no, I had a reason
yeah.
for it, but I got too excited.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it was to go towards my glacier project. It was supposed
Mhm.
to be like a separate group to add to it. It just didn't work out the way I wanted it to. So I was like, yeah, never mind, never mind. But Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't recommend breeding just because you have the geckos
Yeah.
sitting there. I think that there should be like a goal or an idea behind it. And if it's like I said, I mix things, but I to see like because I have an idea of what could happen, and I just want to see if it would
Hmm.
or something that I'm like, you know what, I haven't paired these before, and they're like nowhere near related. They have different traits that to offer each other, so
Mhm.
see what happens. But it's never like, well, this female didn't breed, so put her with whoever.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. What?
Are you kidding me?
Angel did what? No, he didn't, bro. Yo, you did that, bro? They snitching on you, dog. No, I'm just kidding, bro.
I
That
was
was
so
my
confused. I was
that
like,
was my
what?
segue. That was my segue into the next topic. Breeder telephone. So I've noticed
Yeah, time out,
some
time out. That
breeder
was so bad.
telephone out
That
there.
was so bad.
Yo, I don't care. Joe ain't here. Somebody gotta be
All
silly.
right, let's
You
go.
know what
Let's
I
go.
mean? So but have y'all experienced that all? And what I mean by that, when you're a kid, you hear telephone, you tell one person something, they tell the next person something, and try to see if it's the same thing. And so I'm not talking about drama or nothing like that. I'm talking about with labeling. So like I've even experienced it myself. So like you sell a gecko to somebody, you have it perfectly labeled, it's all right there for them, and then they go and post it and they decide to change some of that labeling to something that's not even there. um and
Yep.
it, to me, like I've seen that a couple of times. Like I just wanted y'all's opinion, I guess, on it, just a topic to touch on for people, I guess, to look out for too. So that's why we always ask questions, run it back to that lineage where it comes from so you can find out what's really in there. But have y'all experienced that at all before or seen it?
Go, Heidi. You have more experience. You
Yeah.
probably seen this way more. Go.
Yeah. Well, in many, so different aspects, all different situations, some kind of irrelevant, not a big deal type stuff, but I've sold geckos to various people and they changed what the label or morph is, which, I mean, it's their prerogative, but don't tag me in it if I didn't call it that.
Yeah,
Or they'll, run, it's gossip, 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 and it'll come back to a group chat or they'll tell me about something like, oh, did you see this? I'm like, I don't give a fuck. But, I'll look it up and it is what it is. Or I'll go and ask like somebody that I know that's supposedly involved in it that I'm closer to than these people, doing their high school talk. And it's like, no. So I don't know. I don't usually give much input in the group chats because of all that stuff. And occasionally I'll say something, but it might be if I'm already in like a shit mood. So I'll just make a comment, but I try to not get into it.
yeah,
I'm supposed to be
it's
above all that. I'm older than most of you guys.
yeah, you got to lead the way. So she be lighting the
I
torches like, here
try.
you go, follow me.
No,
What
I
about
just try
you?
to offer like my experience.
Have you seen that, Angel, or experienced that at all?
Yeah, I don't really like when you put in that perspective, like the way you asked. I'm literally going through that right now, where I had sold a couple geckos, and every time this person posts it,
Yeah,
it's like labeled completely wrong, and I've gone and corrected it multiple times,
yeah.
and it's just like, all right, it's like in through one ear and out through the other, and it's kind of annoying for me because like I feel like I try my best to do everything like
No, for sure.
to the best that I can, like with labeling, just everything all around. And then when I see somebody post my gecko that I told them is a certain thing, and then they change it, I feel like, damn, people are gonna think I'm like misleading and saying like like stupid things. So yeah, I've had that experience, which it
Yeah,
really does suck, but it's
I've
what it
I've watched some of the homies go through it too. They'll hit me up and be like, "This gecko is not that, not even a cross, not even." It's just so funny, dude. So I've experienced a little bit, not too much. It was I labeled like a possible white and yellow, and then I saw them just label it white and yellow. And when I saw the gecko, I was like, that's not white and yellow.
yeah.
And they were like, said it on the label. I was like, nah, nah, nah. Let's check the label. And then it says pos. I was like, yeah, see
Possible,
that, see
yeah.
that possible? I was like, so right now it's not possible. So we're just gonna take that part off there now. So, but that was about it. Nothing too crazy. But I have seen it from others, and it's just
Oh, I've
It,
seen it too. We've had conversations where you
yeah,
call
no,
them
it's
morph
it's
market
mind
police. You
boggling.
know, like
Yeah, it's mind boggling because, like you said, we put in all this work
yeah, yeah,
and, to backtrack and label and all these different methods we kind of use to come up with to keep update all this information just for it to get sold to somebody else. And they just changed 4 words and now it's completely different.
yeah. And it sucks
So,
because it kind of like sets everything back. You know, labeling has been a big topic this year that I've noticed. And then now you're trying your best to do everything, and you pass it on to the next person, and they completely disregard it. Now
yeah,
they're producing babies or whatever. They're selling it as the way that they had it labeled, and then it's just like, all right, now this, like for instance, somebody just said Bengal and then get it back as a fireball. Then that's
yeah,
happening, you know?
yeah.
Like it's like, come on, bro.
Who
No,
said that? Somebody, I thought it was in, maybe it wasn't a group chat with you guys, but somebody was saying that they're the same thing.
Oh, a
Like,
lot of
no,
people
they're
say that
different
shit.
lines. Like, not the fuck the same.
I thought there was Firebolt in Bengal, like it helped make
It's
Bengal. That's
different.
what I was
It's
told. I'm not
just
sure.
different
Bayside's here.
lines,
He could tell us if that's correct or
different
not.
ingredients.
Yeah, I have a friend that says every
But
bold tangerine is a firebolt, and I'm like, bro, it's not. Like, come on, like, stop. It's just a
Stop
firebolt.
the
It's just a
cat.
firebolt. Like, all right,
Stop
bro.
the cat. Nah, but speaking of groups and stuff like that, I do want to shout you out, Heidi, for helping us get started our Geckoverse Facebook, or just help getting it organized and a little bit better going for the people and for us to use. So big thank you to you from me and Joe. Just wanted to
yeah,
put that out there.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
We can't hear you when you whisper.
Well, it's
Oh, he's in
whatever.
here. Look at him.
I do groups.
My boy, the one that says everything is a firebolt.
Is a cross. Yeah, yeah. Big word right there that gotta stay. So that goes into another topic we want to talk about: protecting lines and protecting, these different lines of tangerines and different work that people put into it. Do you see yourself trying to protect any lines coming out? I know Heidi has a little bit. We'll get into that too. But what about you, Angel? Do you think you're gonna try to protect some lines?
Um, yeah, I mean, it's but so much you can do, you know, because like
Mhm.
again, going back to what we were just talking about, people are just gonna change stuff and do whatever they want with it. But me personally, I feel like it is like important to save certain lines because like at the end of the day, somebody put really hard work into it, you know, and then to kind of like muddy it up and change it, I feel like it's not disrespectful, but I can't find another word for it, but it kind of feels like it, you know, like
Kind of, yeah.
if I made a piece of art and then as it gets passed down, people just start changing it. Like I would feel some type of way, you know. And maybe that
No,
wasn't the best analogy, but you get what I'm saying, right? Like
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
I think it's very important to protect certain lines, you know. Like I'll flat out say it. Firebolt, for instance, that I feel like that right there is like a line that kind of like paved the way for a lot of bold tangerines, like Bengal and stuff like that. So that line should be protected. Like seeing Firebolt, Het, Tremper, whatever, blah blah blah. I feel like it
There you
should.
go, Apollo. Yes, that's how you label. There you
Yeah,
go.
and I like that a lot. You see,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I feel like if I'm posting an ad, and that's what I'm gonna do
Hmm.
this season. If I'm
yeah.
posting an ad, even if because I do have some Firebolt pairings, like pure Firebolt pairings, I'm not gonna put Firebolt. I think I'm just gonna put Bold Tangerine, and then in the description I'll put like 100% Firebolt. You know, I think that's like the best way because I feel like that will kind of like eliminate people wanting to name stuff and do things like that, right? Like if you just give it like the umbrella term, is that's the
Yeah.
right? You know what I'm saying? Like
I,
Bold
I,
Tangerine, boom.
yeah, yeah. I'm not sure. It could be right how you're saying that, but I don't know.
Yeah, and I think we talked about that. I think several of us have talked about the
Mhm.
lately, over the last year at least, about simplifying the main terms
Yeah,
and then in the descriptions of everything, put all the details
yeah, that to
because
me that
that's where
makes
you get
sense.
the name stacking bullshit.
Exactly, exactly. And last year, I mean, again, I'm a first year. I started collecting in 2023,
Hmm.
and from 2023 up until now, I've seen like a huge difference. Like there were guys stacking tangerine lines on tangerine lines, you know,
You
and
should have been around back in the day,
it was
even. And
worse.
I've only been doing it 10 years, but labeling has always been a problem.
You walk up to the
Seth and I
table.
did a roundtable about this 6 years ago about The biggest shit we saw was like the high contrast, bold, super hypo stuff all in one fucking
A bunch of
description.
stuff. Yeah, yeah. That's
I'm saying
Yeah.
you walk up to the table, they just put out a little scroll, and just like, all right, so it's got this,
it.
this,
Just keeps
this.
falling down. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. But I
Nope, that
mean,
was
it's
the
good to
morph
keep
name.
that. I do still like that. That's the funny thing. We make fun of that, but if I got all the information, I would be still happy. But yes, I would still label it, tangerine, but whatever. But I would know it comes from all this lineage. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Do you guys think percentage matters when it comes to that
I
with
don't do
certain
it.
with certain things?
Nah, I don't. I don't. I mean, if it's
No?
100%, like if it's a pure fireball, I'll put 100%. Like I think that's important. But like if it's just like a bunch of different things put into something, then I don't really care to know 12.5% of fireball. This, it's like just tell me what's in it. And that's it. I don't really give a shit.
Nah, for sure, for sure. Because when it comes to that, I got some stuff too. It's like 6% Inferno. To me,
Yeah,
I'm
like
like
I don't want to
like a
see that,
drop
bro.
of blood. Yeah, I'm like a drop of
Yeah,
blood
you
in
know what I'm
here.
saying? Like,
Gotcha. Yeah. No, I get it for
No,
sure.
I don't care about all that.
But
If
so
people
you're
if people want
gonna
a gecko that I have, I'll give them that information. But
yeah.
I'm not sitting there doing the math on
No,
that shit. I
hell
would have been
no.
an accountant, not a breeder.
Now, wait. Let me kind of like backtrack for a second.
Mhm,
Now, I think if a gecko's high percentage of that line, for instance, like if you
mhm.
outcross a fireball and then you put it back after a couple generations, I think maybe that would be important to say like, well, like 75%, 80, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that would be all right. But like if it's so many things in one, I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, it's like
Hmm.
3% this, 2% that,
Yeah, like
25%
at that
this.
point, it's
Yeah,
like, come on, bro. Like you're doing the most.
no, I get it. I get it. Because I was asked about that a couple times on my purple head red diamond crosses, where I was just
Hmm.
labeling 75% purple head red diamond cross.
Yeah.
Just so you know, it had a little bit more lineage of purple head than the red diamond
Hmm.
in there. But if I know it, I'll use it. But if I don't, then I don't. But
Yeah,
then
I
again,
don't
like you
think it's
said, if
that
it's a
important.
small percentage too, then I kind of don't even like. If I'm asked and I have it, I'll tell you, but I'm not gonna put it on the label yet.
Yeah, yeah.
Same.
So you want to protect Firebolt? That's your baby. We got Heidi over here protecting her bag of Skittles. Um, but you said you don't want to keep pure anymore, though, right? So are you like not trying to protect it, or just trying to keep it select breeding and keep it around without
You
keeping it
talking to me?
pure? Yeah, you dude, the Skittles lady.
Yeah, I mean, I'm keeping it as like pure as I can, but there's really nothing out there for him to keep going aside from the original male that I have, because the brother of his that I have, I don't know if he was just infertile or what, but after a while, I rehomed him because he just wasn't producing for me. So my original male went to females and his daughters and the granddaughters, and so it's pretty close knit. But over the years, I've also separated a project from the Skittles, so I have the pure Skittles technically because I mean they're line bred back to him so much.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And then I have the Skittles that are mixed with Firebolts and some of my other like projects that I got going on. But yeah, I'm trying to keep it, but at some point, like this is my only little bitty gene pool. There's nobody else I can get a Skittles from,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. You are that person.
And
You're the candy
so
neighborhood candy lady.
yeah, so I mean it's been, you know, 7, 8 generations of doing that. And everybody's fine. So I'm gonna keep going and see what happens. Like,
Yeah.
like we were talking about on the phone the other day, with the filial breeding and seeing how far generations you can kind of do that with. Um, I don't really foresee doing it into the like F teens, but yeah, a few more
Yeah.
years out of that. I haven't noticed any infertility or anything like that, or any abnormalities otherwise. Um,
Okay.
but yeah,
But
and the
so
same thing like with the cinnamon stuff.
cinnamon,
It's
yeah, I was about to
a
bring
lot
that
of
up.
it's
We
still,
also help
yeah,
that
a lot
protect
a
that and
lot of
keep
it's
it
still
going.
back to back to my more of the original stuff, but over the years I've had to acquire like more of the ones that are, more look like it to get back to it. So that there's a lot of real close knit breeding in that too,
So selective
just to
breeding
keep
with it
them.
versus line breeding with it.
Mm, yeah,
Is that what you're saying? You're taking other phenotypes to it that look the similar. to keep it
No,
going?
no, no, no.
Oh,
It's
okay.
still it's still within their like main gene pool,
Yeah.
but I was trying to not do siblings so often because they're
Oh,
already if you haven't gotten one from me, but a few people that have gotten the cinnamons from me can see they're a little shorter and they're more stocky.
Mhm.
They're not a lanky gecko.
oh,
And
so
I
they
just
look
don't want them to get more
like
compact over the
Yeah.
years. So they're built like a fucking brick house, but I don't want them to get like, short and fat.
yeah. So not like me. Gotcha. Um, No, but it's an interesting topic, I think, because I wanted to shout out, I guess, a couple other people that protect lions that I know of. If you guys know others, please include them. But we just had Bubba on, and Bubba kind of showed us, we saw how the clown went from Matt to Enzo to Bubba,
Yeah,
and it
yeah,
stayed protected from different people who picked it up. And kind of the same thing with the Albie Snow, went from Albie to Matt to from Matt to Rebecca and to Miles who held it down and want to keep that line going. Then you got John, who's also doing the firebolt. He
yeah.
he grabbed that and started keeping that going. Um, I'm not too sure of other ones. That's all the ones that I know. So if y'all know any other ones that are being held down, let me know.
I think is it Red Rock?
Red
Is
Rock
there I think
Gecko,
yeah, I
Hard
believe
Rock Cafe, or Hard Rock Gecko. No, there's Red Rock too, right? I think
there's
there's
one.
both.
Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
confused,
I think
but
there's both.
there's one of them that works a lot with like Extreme Bold, which is another line that I feel like should be like protected. Steve also has a really good group of Extreme Bolds, and then John also has Extreme Bolds too. I feel like that's a line that should be protected as well.
Yeah, I think Lake Erie too. Seen a
Yeah,
lot of
him too. Yes, him too. Him too.
no head
Yeah,
extreme
yeah,
bolt.
yeah. Him too.
Very nice. Oh, Brett with Bengal. Yeah, yeah. But I think Rudy might be coming back though.
Yeah.
So
You know what though? While Rudy's away, Brett's doing a really good job
no,
at
he's
pushing
holding it
Bengals,
down.
and
Yeah,
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 he's
he's
holding it
holding
he's
it
at
down.
down
Yeah.
fire.
for sure.
Yeah, nah, he is. He really is, and I give that to him. Every time I speak to him, he's always like, Bengal over Firebolt, and I'm like, all right, all right. But at the same time, he is doing his thing. Like he's really showing out
Nah,
for
no,
Bengals.
nah. His crosses are gonna be dope this season too. I already
Yeah,
know. But I guess Apollo's holding it down for Eclipse. uh,
yeah. He loves
Apparently,
Eclipse.
yeah,
He
yeah.
loves
So does
Eclipse.
Heidi though. She's holding it down for Eclipse. But that's not
I
really a
love
line though.
Eclipse.
No, no, it's not. It's not.
I'm talking about a
But
line.
No,
Yeah,
I put it in a lot.
yeah. You love Eclipse, huh? Brett and his Bengals. So everybody's on the Bengals.
also,
All right.
Bubba's here. I gotta talk to Bubba real quick.
Dang, you
So
gotta talk.
I was at a wedding last week, right? So I couldn't watch the full episode. But while I was on that 2 hour journey to the airport, I watched the podcast, right? He goes, oh, Angel's ripping his shirt off right now while listening to us talk about both tangerines. I'm like, yo, what? I
Yep.
caught a stray for no reason.
Yep. Nah, it ain't for no reason. You know why.
Nah, come on, nah, that's my thing right there. I'll rip
That's
my
your
shirt off
thing.
right now.
See, exactly. You see, you gotta contain yourself, bro. You gotta contain yourself. Ripping your shirt off on a jet about jet
The
babies.
sweater, I'll rip this sweater.
That's crazy.
Now imagine.
So yeah, that's cool. So you guys, at least you're participating and holding down some lines. You're gonna start doing that. I'm still trying to do that with the Albie stuff. So we're kind of all going different, lines to hold it down. So that's pretty cool. I didn't think about that. I wonder what other people that aren't as like socially active that do hold down stuff.
Yeah.
That's a big part of this too. I feel like that's not talked about because they're not socially active. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? There's just some people that got geckos and they're at the crib doing their thing, and they
Yeah.
probably got some
Yeah.
stupid nice stuff we
Fire.
probably
Yeah.
never seen. Yeah,
Like
because
Miles, he disappears every once in a while.
what
Surprisingly, he's in the chat. That's
impeccable.
actually
Oh, hey, there he is. What's up, bro?
man.
Nah, I'm waiting on your Albies, bro. This year, don't let me down. Don't let me down.
I mean,
Um,
he's another one, no, right?
yeah,
He's
yeah.
doing Albies, right?
That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying. Yeah, he's
yeah.
holding it down for the
Yeah, yeah.
Albies. I think Dab Exotics as well is holding it down for the Albies. And then, what I'm saying,
Yeah,
I'm
Dylan, yep.
I'm behind them trying to do the backup work behind them when they quit. Hopefully I can hold it down. But I still don't have the peer like they do. They got
No.
that good. So man, sounds good. Okay, moving on. You want to take the next topic there, Heidi?
Wow. Oh, wow.
Oh
Okay.
Oh, she
wow,
got
put her on
nervous. She got
blast. Yeah,
nervous.
just
Hold
put
on.
Oh,
yeah, just put her
Wait.
on
Look.
blast.
I I got notes.
Oh, she pulled
oh,
out
let
the
me see your
paper.
notes,
Oh.
girl.
We're gonna talk about outcrossing. Um. This is vital for maintaining size and structure and genetic diversity.
Oh, you didn't
Yeah,
have to read all that, dude.
yeah.
I do what I want to do.
You know what though? That is true. I was kind of like holding it in. I was gonna actually say that. Like as important as it is to keep pure lines, I think it's also like important to outcross, right? Because
Yeah.
again, Black
Yes.
Knight is prime example, right? Like Black Knight is what
Hmm.
F 20 something, and they're beautiful animals, right?
Yeah.
And but they're like fucked up, and like I don't want like other lines to end up being to that point because people don't want to outcross them and stuff like that, you know? Because like I already have an
Mhm.
extreme bold, I can get another one, and then I'll just keep crossing them. At some point, I'm gonna have like the Black Knights, basically. You know what I'm saying? So like I think it's a good thing to outcross as well.
I think that's a hot topic because some people can find a balance because I believe you got to have a balance in all
Yeah,
of it. Like
yeah,
there
I
is
think it's
no
a balance.
one way to do each one.
Mhm.
Like you have to have a balance to all of it. At some point, you're gonna have to find something that's very similar looking.
Yeah,
That's not the same to outcross. You're gonna have to do some line breeding to get to a certain point in something that you're trying to do. Like
yeah,
there's a place in spot for everything when it comes to this. So that's why I do feel like it's important to understand all aspects of it
mhm,
so you know when to apply it when you're trying to work with your projects and where you want to go with it. So outcrossing is super important, super important. So it's one of those things we beat like a dead horse, but is super important, so um yeah, take it away, Heidi.
Yeah, and I think I've touched on that on I think when I was on too, or maybe when I was on with Krista. But yeah, the outcrossing I think is important. Like I said, with my Skittle stuff, I've kept a lot of it together.
Hmm.
But I also did a few different groups with other things, and like the Firebolt Skittle stuff, I did a group of that, so this way those babies can go back into the Skittle stuff. But I still have like my other stuff so I can compare moving forward. So everything that's been just Skittles and then the Firebolt Cross stuff put back into the Skittles to compare. And as of right now, there's not much difference. The stuff with the Firebolt in it is probably a little more vibrant though,
Hmm.
whereas the
So
Skittle stuff has more green.
how do you feel about this? I'm asking you because you got more experience than both of us.
mhm.
Do you feel that like if you take a line, say like you took Firebolt, and at some point you had to outcross it for genetic diversity, health, whatever, and you took it to a very similar phenotype, but it's not a Firebolt, so it's got a little bit something different. Are you still gonna label it Firebolt, or is it you just 100% now it's something different? It's no longer part of that line. Which direction
Mm,
do you lean on that?
I mean, it'd be separate at least for a while. I don't know, a few generations before it'd have to be back into the pure Firebolts for a while, like a while.
What's a
But
while?
I
Like
don't
calculate it for us. You know,
I don't know, like 4 or 5
tally it,
years
count on
probably.
your fingers.
Nothing else.
So 5 years?
Like 4 or 5 years. Yeah.
5 years. Okay. Not two? Okay. So 5 years of outcrossing before you believe it
I
goes
don't know.
back to.
I've
I
only been doing it 10.
yeah, I
I
think
haven't been breeding 40 fucking years.
I
Nah,
think the
dude, you're
only
like
person
20 deep.
I think the only person that could really like do that would be like the person that originates the line. That's just I was thinking about that the other day. Me and Joe was talking about it, and it came up speaking about the Bengals, right? Like Rudy's the one
Mhm.
that's producing them, and then we talked about how Brett he's also outcrossing it, right? But like I feel like the person that created the line and that established the line, that person's able to put things in it and have it constantly change while keeping it the same, while other people that do the same thing can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Because like at the end of the day, it's his project and it's his line. So I feel like
Mhm.
he should be able to do it, or even like John. Like if John took because he's really the one that's producing the firebolts like that. If he took something and crossed it into firebolt, and if it, I feel like he should be able to say that get yourself off before you.
Yeah, I was trying to let you finish your thought
Nah,
before I
nah.
started popping
I
these
have to
up.
hide. I have to hide the comments, bro. They throw
Yeah,
me
yeah,
off.
it's distracting to some people. My
Be
ADHD lets
walling
me
out in
like.
there.
I'm
But
surprised I don't
yeah,
go cross-eyed.
I feel like they should be able to do it. But like us, like if we take somebody's
Yeah.
line or
So
project,
you feel like the person who's responsible is allowed to make that call, but if you
yeah,
didn't create it, you're not responsible to make any calls. You don't get no
I,
executive decisions, even if you protecting that line for 10 years. No executive decisions.
yeah, I think. I guess if you get permission from the person, I don't know. It's just
Yeah, I was about to say, let's
it's like
say
a
they do
weird.
that.
I really feel like this is like a
Well, that's why I
weird
call
like
it a project
area.
and not a line.
Yeah, yeah,
None of the stuff I've done, I call lines.
yeah. Mhm.
Everything is a project.
Project.
Yeah,
So then,
project.
if I can do what I need to, and it's all good.
So are you doing that just as a drama-free scapegoat, or eventually are you going to call it a line? Do you feel like you will one point, or just
I don't really
save
need
yourself the
to.
headache?
Like my bold trimper tangerines. That's what they are.
Well, Joe had a good point too, even though he's not here.
Yeah, I read his
Uh,
comments.
that's
That's
where filial breeding, I guess, steps in. So it all circles back around. So
mhm.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But then who do you pick? Do you pick the F2 times back cross three times whatever, back to the F1 and restart? Which one do you do, dude?
Well, and that's assuming you have those.
No, I know. I was just making a silly joke.
A lot
But
of people breed and then get rid of the parents, or they are like, you know what I mean? Like they don't keep
mhm.
Yeah,
generations.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think about this? Adding Turkmenicus to your short stocky line from Gecko Nation.
Maybe I don't have anything like that now. Um, but that could be something to look into.
Oh, you would actually add something new to your collection? That's crazy
I said
tall.
that would be something to look into.
Oh, I'll read about it before I go to sleep at night. But yeah, okay. All right, Bubba. See you. Yeah, the silly names. The names are silly, but it's culture. It
But that's a good point, though. What
is
Bubba's saying
silly.
is it is a good point. You know, like
It is. It
if we don't
is.
name anything, we won't have this issue where it's like, oh, you took this line, you crossed it to that, and you're still naming it. You know, if you just call
But
it old
it's
tangerine.
to me again. It goes back to balance because then we're
Yeah, yeah.
diminishing that person's work
No, it's
and the,
true. It's
the
true.
years that took them to make that, or just because we don't see the name or
Hmm.
because it causes a mess with newer people. Once you're educated and learn, I don't see it being a problem.
Yeah.
Like Micah said earlier, 8 years in, and there's always an issue with labeling. So it's one of those things where if we stuck to something for sure and didn't have such a rotation of people getting in and out, having to relearn how to label, restructure labeling like every couple of years, then it would be good. You know what I mean? It's really not that hard once you're educated on the
Hmm.
topic because we all have an understanding of it.
Yeah,
Most
yeah,
people
yeah.
that we talk to have an understanding of
It's
it.
true. It's the
But
newer
it's
people
really
that.
just newer
Yeah,
people
yeah,
that are getting in over their head and not taking the time to check first and really look into it,
yeah. Yeah, I
but
agree.
it's not that hard. It's really not. Is it tangerine or is it this? Cool. Is it a snow? No. Is it an albino? No. All right. Well, that's what you label it. You know. So it's real simple.
Hmm.
And then get your word of advice today from wreck yourself before you wreck yourself, Angel. Is that what you tell yourself every day? You at the gym? Okay. Okay. That would be a battle. Be Monarch versus Bengal versus Firebolt. It'd be a three-way battle. Some more Smozanthic kickers. Yeah, that's something I've seen. The hyperxanthic stuff really works well with the snow stuff. I think I'm gonna try it
Yeah,
with
it
the
looks really
Albi.
good.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it with the Albi stuff just to see, but it does look really nice with the Max Snow stuff too. Um,
Yo,
you
Bubba is
working with that?
hilarious.
Anybody working with that or what?
Well, with what? I'm sorry. The hyperzanic stuff.
Hyperxanthic. Yeah, everybody just had a brain fart for a minute and thought,
Nah, you know what though? I looked at like a couple posts that Brett posted recently, not recently, a while ago, but I looked at it recently, and then Gabe as well because he has some really nice ones, and that kind of like made me feel like I want to get maybe like a 1.1 and see what I could produce with those because those are really nice. Like I seen Brett, he posted one that was like snow hyperzanic with a reverse stripe, and
the
to me that
Eclipse.
looked really nice. I think it was Eclipse as well. Most likely it was Eclipse, is Brett.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think I've seen it in person if it's his breeder. When I went to the Daytona show, he has it on display. And
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, seeing it in person, I was like,
it's
this
fire,
is
right?
this is a lot nicer in
Yeah,
person
yeah,
than
yeah.
it is online for sure. Um, he said it's garbage. Nah. Oh, so all right, so let's move on to another topic. We're all having a little brain fart right there. Um, call that dead space where angels at.
Right here.
But let's talk about buyer and seller etiquette. You know what I mean? Because we've all experienced different things, different ways of handling stuff. We've experienced some of the same customers doing, some of the same silly stuff. Matter of fact, all three of us actually have experienced the same thing with the same customer before.
Oh, Heidi, you was a part of that
Uh,
group.
same, different times. Girl,
I'm really in space.
yeah,
Sorry.
you good? Your hearing aid is good now.
Yeah. Huh?
Oh, you hear us now. All
Okay.
right,
It's not my fault. I'm
it's
looking at
not.
my
No.
notes.
Where'd your
And now I
notes
already
go?
forgot what I was reading.
Oh shit.
Well, we were just talking about buyer seller etiquette. You know what I mean? So like, there's always a way, a structure of going about things. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, we want to be nice to people. We want to have good customer service.
Yeah.
But where do you guys draw the line with a customer, especially you, Angel, being new? Because I remember when I was new, I didn't want to argue with nobody. I felt like I'm beginning. If the customer's right, whatever you can do to fix it, whatever, I'll help you out, give you all the information, talk to you for days and days for no reason,
Yeah, yeah.
just for you to not buy or something. So, as a new person, have you experienced a lot of bad like customer sales or anything like that, or bad customers?
Bad customers. I mean, we had the same experience, but for
Mhm.
me, like I work at an MMA gym. I was a window salesman and stuff like that. So to me, good customer service is just good customer service. Doesn't matter what industry you're in. I deal with a lot of people on the regular. Like I teach kids, as you know, and their
Yeah,
parents are like probably the most annoying people in the world. So if I could deal with them, I can deal with somebody over Instagram that's maybe giving me a little bit of a hard time for a sale or whatever. But
yeah,
um, again, we had that bad experience with that one person, and if I had another customer that was like that, where they would drag out conversations and try to drag out the
the
payment
sale.
plan,
Yeah,
yeah, the sale, then I think I would definitely go about it a different way, right? Like at this point, I feel like I don't want to deal with somebody that's gonna have me on a payment plan for 30, like for 3 months. I'd rather just refund their money and try to make a sale with somebody else. Yeah, it's Bubba, by the way. Psst, he's the worst.
worst customer. Yeah, I've
He's
heard.
the worst. But yeah,
No,
like I think for the most part, my experience with customers and also with like other sellers have been really good. So I don't really have much complaints other than that like one experience where it
yeah,
went like it was like brutal. Like don't tell me. Oh well, let's backtrack. If I'm selling a gecko, and you're being what you call it, you're being transparent with me, I'm fine with that. Like for
yeah, yeah,
instance, I've said it a million times. I don't really care. I don't really care about the money. I like to breed my geckos. I make money outside of geckos. Like this is fun for me.
yeah,
Obviously, I would like to be compensated, but it's not my go-to. Like I'm not. This is not what I live off of. So like
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very like chill when it comes to customers, but
So
my
you're not
issue is
you're not so tainted yet.
nah. My
Yeah,
my issues is this though. Like if you are gonna buy something from me and we establish a timeline, I would prefer you stick to that timeline. And if you're not, at least communicate, right? Like I think I'm a man of my word, so I would expect that person be the same. Like don't tell me and
well,
you
that's
and you know
true.
don't tell me Tuesday, and then Tuesday
Yeah,
comes and you're
yeah.
MIA. You message
MIA
me the
until
next Tuesday,
the
and then you're like,
following
"No, I
Tuesday.
meant
Yeah,
this Tuesday," and it's like, "Come on, bro. Like, just be real." And
yeah,
again, like, I don't have all of the money in the world, and I'll be super honest with everybody. I didn't grow
yeah.
up having money or anything like that, so I understand a lot of people's situations. And if you tell me, "Yo, I don't got it right now," or like if you put a down payment and then you miss a payment, and you just be like, "Yo, I had to pay my bills." bro, I'm not gonna be mad at that. Like
Yeah, communicate.
everybody got
Yeah.
their own situation, but at least talk to me. Let me know what's going on. I don't. Me personally, I don't like feeling like I have to hound people down for money, and and at that point, I would just rather give you your money back and just make the sale somewhere else.
Yeah, just go about your day. So you haven't built up that like red flag situation. I feel like Heidi, do you have like a red flag system? Like you do, like you're gonna approach somebody nicely, but you start to see certain red flags where you're like, you can predict where this outcome is gonna go.
Oh wait,
Right?
wait. I mean, I have that as well because again,
You have a system for
I've
that already?
I've had a I like I said, I used to sell windows and stuff like that, and I
Oh,
sell
chill.
memberships at the gym. So like I know when somebody is like giving me the runaround, like there's you I think anybody with common sense knows when somebody's actually gonna buy something or when they're not,
Sometimes,
So
sometimes,
I just feel like I know, but again,
You still
sometimes
be
I
respectful though.
yeah, exactly. Like even if I
Yeah,
have a feeling that they're not gonna buy something and they ask me questions, I'll always answer. I'm not gonna be like a dickhead and like,
yeah, for
oh, I
sure.
know this guy's not gonna, so let me give him some nonsense. Like I always try to be as
yeah. It
transparent.
takes less energy to get all worked up then.
Yeah, 100%.
So you don't have that, Heidi?
I'm sorry, Heidi. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, he did.
That's okay.
I did. I did.
No, like I see it like occasionally, not as much, just because I feel like maybe people are gravitating toward, I don't want to say the cheaper geckos, but when you go on market, you see like $40 geckos and shit. So I don't really have that. Not that mine are expensive, but I don't really have those kind of people coming on to my thing and doing that. I have a lot of return customers, isn't mostly what it is. But yeah, if it's someone that I know they're not even going to buy, it's just questions, they want to see pictures. I'm still nice to them. I just don't spend as much time going
Yeah,
over all
yeah,
the details as I would with someone that's genuinely interested.
yeah.
But I'm
So
still not going to be
you
a dick
respond in
because
three
there's
business
no
days.
reason to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you like respond within 3 business days and not right away with those people.
No, I respond right away.
Are you
My
still
response
respond
time
right
to
away?
everybody is like right away.
Okay,
I gotta
okay.
keep
So,
that shit up at least.
so we gotta learn customer service from you, or I do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And that's
Reese
the
is the
thing, even
worst.
if you're like,
Huh?
when
I
you're
said Reese.
new, you try to be extra
I'm the
nice, but
worst.
you gotta keep up with that.
Nah, I respond right away. It's people always be like inquiring like 2 o'clock in the morning when you sleep. It's
Yeah, yeah,
weird.
yeah.
I always wake up with an inquiry from like eight
I got
hours
tails
ago. I'm like,
rattling.
what?
Yeah, I heard that. I was like, whoa,
Some short stubby tails.
the short stubby tail.
Yeah, I can actually, I
That's
can
That's
the little
probably,
cat
thumb.
I
rattle.
think it's my cinnamon boy.
That is the little
Damn it.
thumb.
The little thumb. He's going crazy in there.
You
Yeah.
bugging, bro.
No, he's actually my bigger one,
So,
so that should help.
so we're getting close here to the end. When you were on here last time with us, Angel, did you get asked about your Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, but
You
I
did,
didn't. I didn't really answer it. I gave like a
like a
bullshit
half-ass
answer.
answer.
Yeah,
Okay.
but that's just such a hard question. Like I haven't been around for so long, so like my Mount Rushmore or my top four or whatever, my top breeders is much different
Mhm.
than like maybe Heidi's or maybe yours.
Yeah, of
So
course. There's three different generations right here. We got
yeah,
10 years, 5 years, and then you're in your 2 years. So
yeah,
three different levels of coming into this community. You know what I mean? There's people before me I have no idea about. There's people
yeah,
before
yeah.
Heidi she might not know about. But there's people before me she does know about. There's people before you that I know about. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? And stuff like that. So can you leave your ears alone, dude?
I'm sorry.
You didn't like clean your ears out before you did this?
They're supposed to be the smaller caps.
Oh, okay, okay. So when Heidi was
They have
done with
dainty woman ears.
her Britney Spears audition, she decided to put her headphones in and come join us. She was out there, baby, baby.
Yeah, right. Try to do a cartwheel and break my wrist and shit.
Oh Lord, nah, but go ahead, dog. So you ain't gonna slide out on this one. I know you're trying to,
Damn,
trying to
getting
get
put on
lost
the
in
spot.
space over there.
Nah,
Now we're
bro,
gonna bring it back to you real
I
quick.
don't care. I'll say it. Uh,
Get baby
again,
one more
again,
time.
I came in. I didn't even have an Instagram when I started collecting. So like I was on my main account, which was like my MMA page, which you know about.
Yeah, yeah.
So the first person I was really looking at was Brett. I was always on his page, looking at his pictures, because like obviously pictures is a huge thing when it comes to selling and obviously catching somebody's eye. So I would
Mhm.
say Brett's up there for me. Bubba's another guy that he has awesome videos. He has really good pictures, and his geckos were pretty nice too. Um,
It's
as
true.
of maybe not as of recent, but a little later, I started looking at obviously John. I feel like John is probably on everybody's list.
Uh,
And
some people, yeah, yeah,
yeah, some people, but for me, he is because like again, he has what I like both tangerine stuff.
yeah, yeah.
And then for the fourth, I can't even think. You know what? Actually, I'll say Lake Erie Gecko. For what I like, he's up there. He has some really nice bold tangerines, and his bolds are just nice in general. So I would say those four.
Is that somebody you talk to at all? Have you ever reached out to him?
Yeah, yeah. I've spoken to him a good amount of times. Maybe not like as much as I've spoken to Brett or Bubba, but I've spoken on the phone with him for a couple hours at a time. He's a really cool guy. Obviously, he is a little bit older, so the conversations are a little bit different. But he's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
super cool guy. He has a lot of knowledge, and again, he has the stuff that I like. So even for him to just send me pictures of geckos and like show me like the lineage, it left like kind of a impact. Sorry, brain fart.
yeah, yeah. So when you brain fart in there, do you smell it in space or
Jesus
what?
Christ, Jesus.
Nah, but Apollo's right, dude. I was gonna bring that up.
No, it
Especially
changes. Yeah, that's like
it changes over time as you grow and understand more
yeah.
of your hobby.
It's like that. It's like the goat conversation that people have when in sports. Like it's always gonna change. Your opinion's always gonna change. Those kind of
Yeah.
conversations are like super subjective. Because again, your top four is probably different from mine. Same thing with you, Heidi. I know. I know
Hmm.
you're in.
My top
I know
four is
you're in Reese's
Dylon,
top four.
Dylon, Dylon, and Dylon. That's their top four. All right, so y'all don't like dad jokes tonight. It's okay.
No, I guess I don't get it. My bad.
It's all good. Joe's not here. Thought I'd fill in on the dad jokes, but all right. Well, appreciate
Wait,
y'all
did,
hanging
wait,
out
wait,
with me.
wait, wait, wait. Did Heidi answer that in her episode?
I believe so.
Yeah,
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
all right. Because you put me on the spot. What's yours?
kinda. I mean, mine is a little
Co-hosting,
different.
dude. You don't get the
Some of the
question
people
to
I
co-host.
named are like either like not in the hobby or have passed away. Oh, now the other one fell out. I'll just leave it up. So I was trying to not really use current breeders. It was mostly people that I were inspirations like growing up, getting me into reptiles in general,
Yeah.
and then getting me into geckos. And
Mhm.
then I just shout out a couple of breeders that I just love their collections.
Yeah, yeah. She's co-hosting, bro. She don't have to answer that.
All right, I was just
She
making
plead the
sure. I was
fifth.
just making sure
Plead the
because
fifth. Plead the fifth.
Damn.
if I hurt a couple people's feelings, I gotta have somebody come with me.
Oh dang.
You
You
Well,
feel
saw
me?
maybe in
it? You saw
10
it?
years, Angel will be on somebody's Mount Rushmore.
I'm
Ooh,
already
there
on
you
like
go.
five people's. I ain't gonna lie. First year. Nah, nah,
Dang.
nah. I'm joking. I'm messing around. I'm
I
messing
was
around.
wondering how your head fit in that
Yo,
station up there. What's going on?
sometimes it just happens. You can't do nothing about it.
I'm peeping the hoodie though. I like that. When you gonna send me one?
That's a good question, and you kind of reminded me. So I was gonna do a giveaway on the stream, and I completely forgot. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a giveaway of a bunch of different merch. It's gonna be a sweater, two different shirts, and maybe a hat. So I'm gonna set that up in the coming weeks. I just gotta not the coming weeks, maybe like in the next week. I just gotta get a better design for like the other shirt and then the hat, and then I'll post it up. So again, if you guys are watching this, stay tuned for that. Make sure you're checking my page, and we'll get that going. Angel banned from Daytona show. What did I
ain't
do?
even ain't even gone yet. Already banned.
Crazy. But yeah, I'm gonna do that giveaway soon. And I'm probably gonna start producing more merch anyways to start selling with my actual geckos and stuff, just to get my name out there. So if you guys are interested in shirts, hoodies, just let me know and I'll add that in there. I'll probably just give it with the gecko. You buy a gecko, you get a shirt.
That's how you pack it, is with the shirt instead of like the filling.
Exactly. That's that. That's how you insulate them.
Yeah,
That'd
yeah.
be so cozy.
No, that'd be cool. I'd be
It'll
like,
be
yo, I need
fly as
five
hell.
shirts in that mug. 5 shirts.
It'll be fly as hell.
He said, do a giveaway now.
Yeah, what you want? I got a hair tie for you. Nah, but seriously, in the coming week, I think I'm gonna set up that what you call it, take it away.
Word. Well, I'm gonna just touch on one thing real quick before we get out of here. Let everybody enjoy their night. So I do want to shout out, Heidi over here for stepping in and helping co-host. That's one of the things I want to bring up is community. We got this circle. We're all friends. We're all breeders. We're all hanging out. So me and Joe put a lot of work into this to bring to you guys, and just have fun and help out. But we need your guys' help. So we need people to engage. We need people to share. We need people to interact with our posts, our videos, not just the live streams, but after as well. I
Mhm.
know it's a struggle. I do it too sometimes, but if you're scrolling, hit that double tap so we can keep going. Like I said, we put a lot of work into this, and we want to keep going and keep having fun. But if if you guys don't care, then eventually we might have to stop. You know what I mean? But we do appreciate you guys coming out and taking the time and hanging out with us too, and help educate people and just having this fun. So I'm having fun. I hope y'all are having fun. Hope everybody watching's having fun,
Hmm.
laughing at me, laughing at you, whatever. But just want to throw that out there. So help us, help you, help us. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But go follow Angel, young upcoming breeder right here. He's gonna get old real quick in the next 2 years. But
I'm done.
go follow Heidi, guys. Awesome geckos holding it down. So y'all know where to find me at. And y'all have a good night. We'll see you next week. Peace.
See ya.